Well, ladies and gentlemen, 2024 is coming to an end, and I think it's an opportune time that I do my yearly KPI reflection. And we do this quite often for our companies. I think it's also important for us to do it for our personal life, which I think is important. So let's take a look at some of my wins and losses, and let's take an overall view at the end of the video. In 2024, I overcame some health crisis. That's very encouraging, right? And I've got a lot of reflection on this topic of health. In the last few years, I've been struggling with a terrible hip injury and also recently developed a back injury and so on. And I struggled with it for quite some time, and I found myself a great physiotherapist. And I'll take note, I've actually went through a lot of physiotherapists, but the one that I really found was really a great physiotherapist. Anyone wants to know him, I can introduce you to him. I don't make money off this introduction. But he helped me overcome some of this injury and pain and all this. I have an ankle injury that I gotten when I was 18 years old. I actually snapped a ligament and actually was okay for 30 years or so. But now the pain came back, and it came back with a vengeance. Again, the physio helped me with it. And I found that I actually recovered from the pain, and I just count my blessing on it. I also have a tailbone pain. Looks like I got a lot of a bone issue, right? I got a tailbone pain. It went away, but it relapsed. And I tried to look for my specialist to do another steroid jab, which is not very healthy, but no choice. But I found that my specialist friend, who was a OCS mate of mine, actually passed away. It took me some time to find another doctor to help me do another jab, which I found. Hopefully the recovery will last and don't relapse. This year was the first time I have some other issues as well. Somewhere in June, I suffered from a very bad dose of severe constipation. It was very tough, and it lasted for 5 months and ended up with severe bleeding and things like that. I went to see a colon specialist because the bleeding went non-stop. And we did a colonoscopy and found that he couldn't find the source of constipation, but he found that the bleeding was caused by the constipation, and internal pulse was bleeding and things like that. And I continued to suffer for quite some time. And I had to rely on Western medication to help with the clearing of the system. And interestingly, then I found a very good herbal product, and I was so blessed by it. Totally now recovered. This herbal product is a great detox product, and it clears my system every day. I'm taking it. It will even help me with my weight management, surprisingly. And I also want to say something interesting. I have some night rashes. I'll show you some video on it. Since COVID, I've developed some night rashes. I have no idea what it caused by. I know a lot of people are speculating. I'm not going to go through those speculation, what it could be caused by, but I tried to solve it through medication, doesn't go away. Surprisingly, in my attempt to solve my constipation issue, as I said, I found this very interesting. It's not expensive, cheap herbal detox product. It actually solved my night rashes. My night rashes is quite serious, if you've seen the video. And it actually solved my other problem as well. Crisis that I need to go to a colon specialist to resolve my problem. I didn't realize the solution was so easy. I just took this product called Phytofiber, just one sachet of it, mixed with water, okay? Mix with water and drink it every day, and it solved my problem. So this year, I've got a lot of bone issue, blood, constipation, rashes, and all this. All this year was solved, and I'm like just very blessed. I can tell you this, no matter how much money you have, when your health is not doing well, you feel terrible. Other health and wellness thing that I really want to celebrate is that if you've seen some of my videos, I'll try to show you. In 2020 and before, my weight was around 90 over kilogram. And during COVID, I was very blessed to reduce it to 70-ish kilo, right? About 72, 73 kilogram. And now I successfully maintained my weight loss for 4 years, right? So the Mr. Loo that you see right now was not the same Mr. Loo. Please, days I do a lot of regime of daily push-up. I started seriously last year. This year I consistent with. I don't think at our age need to do very standard push-up like you are commando or some guardsman, things like that. Just exercise, and I realized that my muscles have been building up quite pretty well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do a lot of leg raise as part of the physio advice, and it also strengthen a lot of my muscles. So I can even beat my son in arm wrestling. You know, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. He's an officer as well, and that's because I do a lot of exercise every day. So I've been very pleased with the weight loss that I maintained, and also all the health that I built up through muscles and things like that. And I give myself A+ on my wellness. I continue this year 10-kilometer walk a day for 2024, and I managed to achieve it on average. This represents about 16,000 steps a day. Not easy to have this discipline, but I managed to maintain it for the last 3 years, and I intend to keep it. Walking is a wonderful exercise. I walk in the day, I walk in the night, I walk with my family, I walk with myself, whatsoever, and found that everybody could walk, you know. And as a result, it also helped me maintain my weight and more or less also give me a wonderful health. I give myself A+ on this as well. And I strongly encourage everybody to keep walking and walking. You can achieve the same weight loss as I do. Regardless of the condition, I always keep myself to a good walking regime. And walking is proven to be very good for fat burning.
Mr. Loh is very consistent. Okay, he goes out for a walk every day and he tries to target 15,000 steps per day.
So it's raining right now in Singapore, and I have to clock my steps. So I spend a lot of time walking in a covered, sheltered car park. And the other one thing is a bit of hiao in me, okay? And I can show you before and after. This is the great year that I managed to get rid of some of my pigmentation. My Korean healthcare, you know, which doesn't cost a lot, is doing me a lot of good. I can show you the before-after photo as well. My 3 years with Korean skincare is just gradually helping me to look young again. So I'm very happy with my overall score. I know it looks very hiao, a lot of people don't care, but I think I would like to share this to everybody so that everybody, you know, can also be young again. Most of you all don't house tell me around my age, okay? I think it's a great thing to be young again. I want everyone to feel young again as well. Now, however, all said young and so, which I'm trying to defy, I want to live to 100 years old. I want to live healthily to 100 years old. But this is the year I also realized that I cannot escape aging, right? Age is indeed catching up. Now, body is starting to manifest a lot of health issues despite my attempt to keep myself healthy, right? So I do see some issues coming up, and I foresee that more issues to come out. I think it's more important that as the issues come out, our body is healthy so that we can fight this health issue. I give myself a B in overall aging. This is something I just can't escape. My children, right, is something I'm very pleased and proud of, okay? All of them are in university. All of them do very well in their university. And all are super close and still super close to me and my wife. My children are not just close to me, but they are also very close to my father, whom they stay with as well. So their grandfather, they are also very close with, and I'm very blessed now. Most of the case that I've seen around many people's lives is that the children, once they grow a certain age, just decided to walk away from their parents that are not as close and things like that. I'm just very blessed that they are still very close. A little bit of insight. So Kate, this year he graduated from SMU just a week plus ago. He graduated with an honors degree. Now, she always finds herself the lousiest academically in the home and among all the other guys. And she graduated with an honors degree in business from SMU. We're all very proud of her. We celebrated for her as well. And right now, she has got a great boyfriend. I'm very pleased with this future son-in-law. Very godly and family-oriented man as well. And they are applying for BTO. I hope in good time to come, we will have a marriage in our family and maybe Mr. Loh will become a grandfather, right? Can't imagine this upgrading. So I'm very eagerly waiting for it. When my son started with NUS College today, he's mixing with scholars. NUS College, I think it's the year NUS collaboration have changed. He's super hardworking and also very smart. He just got his exam score for first semester. And his score is very good. He's on track to a first-class honors. He got to keep it up. But I'm very proud that what he is. He's keeping himself very healthy and things like that. Emily is the smartest of all 3 kids in terms of intellect, okay? He's also in a striking chance of getting a first-class honors as well in mathematics. She's more introverted, but my comfort has a lot of friends around her. I couldn't ask for more. I do hope that the 2 younger kids will go around looking for boy-girl friends, okay? But this is something that, you know, as parents, a bit more difficult. Do more than gently encouraging them, right? Okay? But this one is something very pleasing in my life. I'll just say this, okay? I've got quite a few wins in my life. Nothing is more encouraging than seeing my kids do well in life and very close to me. But I've also got to come to terms that they are grown up and soon they will have to flap their wings and soar and have their own adventure in life. And I strongly encourage them to do that as well. Right? I don't want them to think of both my wife and I are holding them back and things like that. So I have to come to terms that at some point of time, maybe even now, right, our children will not be as close to me, but I'm really counting my blessing on this area. Top of my wins this year, of course, is the stock market. And the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ has done phenomenally well, probably one of the best I've ever seen in my life. So I will only talk about my CPF portfolio, as CPF is an equalizer. All Singaporeans have CPF and even PR as well. And CPF is not something that, just because you're rich, you can throw money in and things like that. This is something that a lot of us are probably on the equal footing. And then how well we do is basically how we deploy our allocation of resources. So majority of my CPF portfolio and a bit of SRS has been dumped into the S&P 500 by a huge extent. And I mostly dumped into the S&P 500 during the crash of 2020 during COVID, and then later during the great inflation of 2022. And the result is a phenomenal upswing that we have experienced. Let's take a look at some of the scores. There's a major retirement wealth increase in 2024. But let's take a look again at what it was and then how it becomes. So 3 years ago, my wife and I, our total CPF, not including what we have put into the house, stands at about $1.5 million, and we're about 48 years old or so. And this is just simply looking at the CPF balances plus CPF IS investment and so on. Let's take a look at what it's become right now. This is the total CPF that we have for both me and my wife. It stands at around, combined together, about 1 million-ish. And that's just the CPF balance. Then this is our endowers account, okay? And this part is mine, this part is my wife. Mine stands at around 1.1 million. Majority of them is CPF IS. A little bit of them is SRS. And this is my wife's one. So combined together for our endowers account, which is all into S&P 500, mainly in two accounts, the Amandi Fund and also the Lion Global one. I split them up more or less 50-50. That comes to be about $1.47 million. So combined together, right now, our CPF fund stands at $2.5 million. $2.5 million at 52 years old, not including what we have in our housing. And I think this is a very healthy number. Years ago, this was merely a paper exercise, right? I told people that 1M65 is possible. And a lot of people were then being very skeptical about whether this is even possible. Now together, we now have $2.53 million, and not forget that I've also came up with a strategy in the year 2020 called 4M65. Okay, so we're now at 52 years old, and we have now $2.53 million in our CPF and a bit of SRS as well. Okay, very difficult to differentiate out, so I didn't do the exercise. And our CPF is on track to hit 4M65. Our CPF is on track to hit 4M65, assuming that we have got about $1.5 million to hit 65 or so. And this is the cornerstone of my CPF Kueh Lapis investment strategy, right? So I've always advocated that our CPF should form our safety net, okay? Put as much money as possible into a CPF SA and also our MediSave. Let it form the bedrock of our investment strategy. Then on top of that, I'll layer on my S&P 500, okay? So this one is a second layer that I've done it, and it's now hitting $2.5 million. I did not show the amount that we have on NASDAQ and above because all these are cash, and I think it's a bit more private. I'm not in the business of showing off of how much wealth I have and things like that. I know a lot of influencers do that. A lot of people asking me, but I think that's very private. I don't wish to do that. Maybe I only have $1. Maybe I have $1 billion. No, I don't know, right? So I'm not going to talk about that. But more importantly is the possibility of my CPF trajectory right now has been stretched to 4M65. I'm now 2.5M. Still got some runway to go. This is a great achievement for the year 2024. And I look forward to more. This is where I also would like to warn everybody that this is an investment strategy for myself. I'm not telling you to follow me. And I think recently we've been warned not to talk too much about this. And I also want to reiterate my belief that a correction will come. I don't know when, and that's where I do some rebalancing. And I don't believe that the market will go on up forever. I think in some point of time, a correction, maybe even a crash will come. But if it comes, I'm ready. I think this is where I also like to share some of my losses. I don't have much specific counters, but I don't have much. And some of them I already announced, and some of them, today I'll talk about it. I think in investment, it's great that our overall portfolio makes money. If I drill the details, I could have a bigger win, or I completely never win and have losses as well. But let's take a look at what these are. I think Tesla was the one that, on hindsight, which is perfect sight, I could have done better. Now, I sold my Tesla somewhere early this year because I don't like to stock pick. Now, the reason why I have all these little things is mainly because I go related trading. And Tesla came as a counter that the algorithm picked out that I should buy, and which I did, right? So I bought about $10,000 of Tesla. It grew to, I think, about $20,000-$30,000. I cleared some of it, rebalanced into other counters, and I kept about $10,000. And then it went crash and crash, and I decided that Tesla is too complicated for me. I let go of it. If I've kept my Tesla till now, and I would never known that Tesla would have gone up by so much. Maybe some people can spot it. I can't. I couldn't have foreseen that Elon Musk would have such a great relationship with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump would have won. And if I've kept that $10,000, you'll be worth maybe $30,000 for now. Now, some people say, Mr. Loo, $10,000 only in your great portfolio, it's not meant nothing. But I can feel a little bit uncomfortable. Not that I've lost money. I actually make money on this counter. I would have made much more. $30,000 for $10,000 still a lot of money to me. So this is a counter that, looking back, of course, right? But I could never have predicted it, right? So in life, you can't win everything. The other thing that came out of the algorithm was Broadcom, ticker tape AVGO. At the same time that I bought Tesla in 2018, I also bought AVGO, which is Broadcom. I spent about $10,000 each. It turned out to be a 10-bagger. Now, what is a 10-bagger? Then it went up by 10 times. Okay, 10 times. It was a surprising win, right? So it's something that I'm very comfortable with, although I only bought $10,000, so it's not like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ where I threw in a huge, significant amount. But this one, sweet, right? So it's a 10-bagger. So this one, I make even more money than what I forgone in Tesla. And I would like to say that I was so smart to know there was an AI boom that's coming in when I bought .com in 2018, right? So again, right, this one spit out the algorithm. I have no freaking idea that it will grow so big. I still holding on to it. Did some rebalancing, but we count our wins, as much as losses. Now, the one that I actually have some losses, which is quite disappointing, was TLT, right? I've anticipated, looking at history and all this, that it should rise, which it did. I bought around $92. It went up to 100, okay? And suddenly, some inflationary pressure came, and the whole market started to get jittery, and now it fell to about $88, right? I'm still in a belief that ultimately it will rise, but for this year, it turned out to be a bad counter. I don't have a lot of it, not anywhere close to even what I have for Broadcom and things like that. But again, right, nobody likes to lose, okay? But I came to realize that investment, you look at the overall portfolio, some will have wins, some will have losses. As long as the overall portfolio is doing well, I think it's fine. Certainly, this one turned out to be a big disappointment. Another area that we've done very well, not just myself, but as a community, the 1M65 community has done very well. We've grown very significantly this year. The Telegram group has 36,000 members, and the YouTube one has about 47,000 subscribers and things like that. And it's still growing, and it's growing significantly. This is something we're very proud of, this movement in helping fellow Singaporeans and beyond to have grown in their wisdom towards financial literacy and so on. This year, the 1M65 community has weathered two major crises. One in January, one in December. Ni tao ni bei, So first one is in January 2024, the government has announced the closure of the special account, which will be coming soon, by the way. And that caused a huge firestorm in our community in Singapore, and also in the media as well. I think we were very heavily involved in helping the community make this adjustment, understand the policy changes, also understand what we could do to mitigate some of these pressure points and things like that. I think most of us have come to terms with it. We may not like what has happened, but I think more of us have moved on from it, which I think is important. Just a week ago, our Telegram group was hit by scammers, and Telegram actually suspended our group, and I thought that's the end of our group. We made an appeal, and Telegram kindly has formed the group back. For those people who are looking for a Telegram group, we've got a lot more moderators right now, whom I think are very warm-spirited, very wise people. I brought in more moderators to help me do a check on our group. The Telegram group is Lu1965. Many of our community experts are coming in to share their finance experience and their financial literacy. And I think that's a wonderful place that you can get yourself improve on it. We have also enhanced our security with some bots that I have chased and strengthened the community security so that we don't let these bad actors come in and harm our group. Okay. So this one, I think is something we are very blessed. I'm very happy about. I wish that my life would have all wins and no losses, right? But 2024, my business seems to be cruising quite well. The last quarter seems to be a downturn of some form, okay, and businesses seems to slow down. We are still okay, but certainly we don't like slow down as businessmen. It is something that I have to wait and see whether things need to be done in more drastic way. I'll give myself a B on this area because overall the whole year is still okay, but we shall see whether next year there is a threat of some form. This is one big fat C, right? I consider my spiritual life a terrible score of C. Last year I gave myself a KPI that I really want to go back to church much more often. I try to step up on my church life, but most of my time I travel a lot. And for those times when I'm back in Singapore, I've been hit a lot of times by jet lag and night work and things like that, and I find it very difficult to wake up on Sunday morning. These are excuses to some people. It's probably excuses to myself as well. I still managed to make some church visit this year. I really want to step up on this one. So this one, I'm keeping a check on myself, a big fat C, and I really want to step out on this one. I think 2024 in a nutshell, I cannot say more than this. I've been blessed. Thank God for all this blessing. I cannot ask for more. Nobody wins in everything. As long as the overall, we need to count our blessings, and I'm truly counting all my blessings, right? I'm also mindful that 2025 is very difficult to predict. I see more risk. Okay, I see more storm in the horizon that could come. Just need to prepare myself for it. But let's just count our blessings for 2024. I cannot ask for more. I thank God for it. Okay, thanks everybody for your support as well. We could not have grown as a community without you. Let's continue to share this spirit of love and this education for everybody, and have a wonderful new year. Thank you, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye bye.